Hello and welcome to Modern Barber Upskills. I'm Charlotte, the editor of Modern Barber, and today I'm joined by Deneka Greensmith from Substance Barbershops. We're going to be talking about how to improve the client experience in the barbershop. Substance Barbershops won Best Client Experience at the Modern Barber Awards in 2020, and Deneka is going to be sharing her top tips for making your clients come back again and again. Welcome, Deneka.
Hi.
So good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And I was saying
problem.
earlier, you are so committed to the design of Substance Barbershop. You have the similar design in your kitchen at home.
I do. I love it that much.
Just can't live without it.
Can't live without some yellow and some plants.
Actually, is that part of what you kind of design brings to the client experience? Is that a really key element for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love the whole natural aesthetic with all the plants and a bit of pop with the yellow to add some color and a bit of vibrance to people's lives. It's nice.
Totally agree. So kind of first question that I've got for you is, what makes a barbershop experience great in your eyes?
Yeah, in my eyes, I think great client experience comes down to all three steps of the service, not just the haircut. I think it's so easy to give great client experience just like in the chair with a good haircut and a nice chat, but making sure, the moment they walk into the salon, the moment they leave the salon is also top service makes client experience so much better. I think it's so easy to kind of rush through all of these steps. So you rush somebody through the door, rush somebody out when you're finished. So just taking it right back to the basics is so good for adding that extra, bit to that experience. So things like, eye contact, saying hello when somebody comes in the door. I think the first 5 seconds somebody's in the shop is the most important 5 seconds for that experience. And I think it's missed quite a lot. So yeah, and even things, a simple thing like saying their name. And if you don't know their name, it's not awkward to ask their name, just ask. I think there's a big stigma around that, just asking someone their name now. I get so awkward about it sometimes, but as soon as you know someone's name and they know yours, even if you're not cutting their hair, introducing yourself as well, really, it relaxes me as much as it relaxes the customer coming in. So yeah, I think that's huge. And not just throwing them in the chair, throwing a gown on and getting to work. It's so easy to do that. So just slow it down, take your concentration step by step. Even with your regulars, it's so easy to, just do want the usual. So finding out what they like and don't like is huge. So, and I think a huge thing for me is just doing what's best for you and your shop. The environment that you hold in your shop. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing around you. There's no such thing as copying someone. If you like what somebody else is doing in their shop, then do it as well. What is it they say? Copying is the biggest form of flattery. So, so yeah, take things what other people are doing and adapt it to what suits you as a shop.
I really like your point about introducing yourself and asking the client's name and then telling them your name is a way to make the barber relaxed, which I think is kind of
absolutely. It breaks the ice a little bit as well. I think some people are really caught up in just introducing themselves to the customer that they're cutting, but that's not necessary. You need to introduce yourself to everyone that comes through the door, because you might cut their hair next time, you never know. So it's nice for them to know you as much as you get to know them.
That's very cool. So why do you think so many barbershops maybe don't follow these tips that you're saying, that all seem kind of really simple things, that they don't cost money, they are everything that people can do really, really easily? Why do you think barbershops are neglecting that part of the client journey? And
I think it's so easy to neglect just the basics. You become so busy in your day-to-day. If you're doing 30 minutes appointments and you've got 19 people coming through the door back to back, you don't have a lunch break, the last thing on your mind is stopping and chatting to someone and giving that person 2 minutes of your time and giving them a little chat and catching up with them, even if you don't know them, catching up with that person and giving them the time of day, really. So I think it's just so easy to neglect that, because you're so busy, your mind's elsewhere, you've got your accounts to do, you've got got to eat at some point, you've maybe been needing the bathroom for an hour. So yeah, I think I don't think people fail to value it. I think it's just really easy to let it slip.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess there's so much other things to think about, and I know when barbers are going to be going back on, well, in England at least, on April the 12th, it's going to be that like rush through the door, longer times with clients, but
Yeah,
reduce kind of cutting times, and you've got to be thinking about PPE and all this jazz.
absolutely.
So that kind of makes sense why it might slip a bit. Did you find PPE was did it inhibit your like kind of reactions and conversations with clients in any way?
Yeah, it did in a way. I think they were expecting PPE, but maybe not to quite the level that they got when they came in. You know, we looked like we were about to perform surgery, not just to do a haircut. So yeah, I think the clients were quite surprised by all of that, and it did affect that client journey as well, because client experience is so down to all of the things that you offer and all the things that you could do. Like for us personally, like offering beverages and letting them chill in the waiting area for if they're 15 minutes early. And then COVID comes along and we can't do that anymore. You know, they're like, nobody waits in the waiting room. You in and out as quick as possible. So it took us a little while to get used to that and get used to adapting our client experience with PPE.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true about not being able to offer like the drinks that you would have done.
Yeah.
What is the coffee element a big part of your service?
Well, absolutely. We have a whole bar in the shop. So at the back of our shop, there's a bar, you know, and there's stills to go and sit there and chill out and relax. So if you come early, you can help yourself. You can have a gin and tonic. You can have a soft drink. You can have whatever you like, basically. And then all of a sudden, it was like we couldn't offer all these amazing things that people were coming back for. So it did take a while to get used to that, and I'm really looking forward to being able to offer that again.
I'm sure the clients are as well.
Absolutely, I'm sure they are.
You've got me really craving a gin and tonic right now.
Oh, I know. It's Friday tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's Thursday tonight.
Absolutely.
Thursday, right? It's a thing. So what do your clients say are kind of the best things about Substance Barbershops? What kind of things come up again and again in your reviews and in passing with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. A big one is online booking, which is amazing that so many barbers do that now. The days where you walk in and sit down are slowly going behind us. There's not many places that offer that now. But online booking is huge. People love it. People can't live without it, knowing that they have their next appointment booked in, and also getting a booking reminder. I mean, life happens. You forget. I don't even know what day it is anyway. So you forget what's going on. If you book an appointment, it's so easy to slip your mind. So getting that booking reminder the day before really, really helps our clients, and they absolutely love it. They love the space. It's a very open, bright, modern space that we have at Substance. And people really appreciate that. They really like how, even on the dullest day when it's raining, which happens a lot in Scotland, when it's pouring with rain and there's not been sun for weeks, coming into this bright yellow
my kitchen.
Basically this with the white and the yellow, people really like that. We also have 2 seating areas instead of 1, so people really enjoy not being crammed into a smaller seating area, which I get some shops can't offer that because of the size of the shop, but our clients,
Are they totally separate seating areas?
So we've got the bar, which is the 4 stills, and then we've got the coffee area, which could seat probably 4 or 5 people as well. So when there's 4 people waiting, we can have 2 people at the coffee table and 2 people at the bar, rather than everyone being crammed in together, which is really nice. And then obviously pre-COVID, the bar was something that was everybody loved that, being able to bring a friend with them, and their friend could sit and have a drink while they got a haircut, and kind of an open door policy. That was really good. And then obviously just changing with the times as well. COVID's kind of put a lot into, we can't really do as much now, we can't offer as much. So we had to adapt and change with that time. So we opened our online shop so we could sell our products and gift vouchers on via the website, and people really, really like that they could, still support us and help us out and still buy their products via that. So people were really impressed with that. But again, our shop experience is really designed around, the customer's journey. We focus on, learning and uncovering and adapting all of the new ideas to keep just getting better and constantly making everyone that comes to the door feel as comfortable as possible. So yeah.
It sounds like such a great kind of community feel, and like you've kind of created this sense of community where people feel really comfortable. And I love the idea that your clients can bring a friend, they can
absolutely
while they get the haircut.
Absolutely. I think another thing that our clients really like is our staff as well. Like, we're such a close, I know everyone says that, we're such a close team, we're like family, but like we really are, we get on so well. And I think being able to have that relationship with the people around you really shows with your customers as well. So, and we all look forward to catching up with all of our customers as much as, they look forward to coming in for a haircut. So yeah, I think that's a really big thing, and helping like your staff be involved in any of the decisions of the shop. It's not just my responsibility to make sure the shop's running as well as it can be. It's the people that work there as well. So like, we do things like staff breakfast once a month where we all go out and we just chat about the shop and what we would like to do differently, what we'd like to change. And I think without that, we wouldn't have the shop that we have today, because it's a team effort at the end of the day, isn't it?
This sounds great. And when can I apply to be a barber?
Anytime.
I can't cut hair.
That's fine. You can go to the bar.
I'll be at the bar. Don't mind me.
You can have the gin and tonic.
So thinking about the industry as a whole, and obviously traditionally British barbershops have a really long-standing tradition of delivering like first-class service and this kind of really gorgeous experience. Do you think standards have slipped in recent years? And if you do, why might that be?
I don't personally think they've slipped. I think they've very much just adapted to, the changing times. Barbering's so different now than it was, 15, 20 years ago. And I personally think it's amazing to see all of the different kinds of barbershops that you can have in one city, and offering clients such a range of different atmospheres and client experience, and they can choose what they prefer. And not everybody's going to like the service that you offer. So just not being caught up in that, if you get a bad review about your customer experience, that's one person out of hundreds. There's other barbershops for that person, and they can choose that different kind of experience that they like. So no, I wouldn't ever say someone else's standards are maybe not as good if they offer a completely different kind of atmosphere and experience.
Cool, very diplomatic answer. And I think have you got any client experience pet hates? And that's not just when you go to the salon, but anything that but not calling people by their name, people behaving too formally around you, being rushed for your service or anything?
Oh yeah, my biggest pet hate is just being ignored when you walk into somewhere. I mean, everyone, I think nowadays a lot of people have a lot of fear and anxiety about walking into a new environment. I know myself, I'm so bad for it. So being ignored when you first walk in somewhere, like I said, them first 5 seconds someone's in the door, that's you want to make the best impression as possible. So, I've walked into so many places and just stood there like, what's going on? Should I sit down? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? So just engaging with the person as soon as they're in is huge. Even if you're really busy, just turn around, a quick hello, grab a seat, I'll be with you in a minute. It's not always easy to just walk away from your current task that you're doing or your current customer that you're doing and going and giving somebody the full service, but just asking them to take a seat and giving them the eye contact and a quick hello will make them just instant. Well, it makes me feel so much better when I walk into places. And so yeah, that's a huge one for me. And another one is just rushing your customer. If somebody's booked in for half an hour or 45 minutes, they expect to be in that shop for half an hour or 45 minutes. So even if they have the easiest haircut in the world and it's going to take you 20 minutes, just slow it down, ease off, maybe add some pizzazz, like a straight razor or some foils or something, just to like buff out that appointment time. You don't want your client to feel like they're being rushed out the door and pushed out, like you don't want them to be there. I mean, even if you're dying for food and you're so hungry, just slow it down, ease it out. That's a huge, them two are big pet hits for me.
What do you do at Substance Barbershop to make clients instantly feel welcome?
Again, I mean, everything that I've said so far, big smiles, eye contact, speaking in like a calm voice, just making that person feel welcome in that new atmosphere. They could be, you don't know how they're feeling coming through the door. You don't know what their day's been like. They could be having the worst day ever. So you giving them, you know, a warm welcome, a hello, some eye contact is so inviting and will make them feel so much more at ease. You know, like I said, they could be having the worst day ever. So this could be a moment for them to come and relax and get half an hour and 45 minutes away from their day and whatever's going on in their life.
That's so true. Everything kind of seems to point to giving your full undivided attention to your client, which is really lovely.
It seems like such a small thing as well, but it's huge. Like it's absolutely huge.
And I know as a company, you really pride yourself on nurturing that kind of client relationship. Do you have any kind of top tips for continuing that relationship, if I could even call it that, with your client, even when they're not in the chair?
Yeah, I think we're so lucky now to have social media. I think it's huge, isn't it? Like you can talk to anyone at the click of a button nowadays. It's pretty amazing. I think having your clients following you on social media is lovely. I love being able to catch up with all my clients, even just like them liking a photo or me messaging them asking how they're getting on. Like they really appreciate it, and I appreciate it when they message me asking how I am, especially just now. You know, we're all having hard days. It's nice to hear from people. So I think having people follow you, and even if you don't want them following your personal account, you know, make a separate account, make a business account where you show your haircuts or, you know, what you've been up to in the shop, and you can even post out appointments that are coming up. Like my clients love when I do that. It's such a small thing to do, but yeah, so social media, and definitely speaking to them in the street. I used to be so bad for seeing someone in the street just being like, hi, and kind of running away, because I was like, oh my gosh, you couldn't remember their name. I mean, you cut hundreds of people all the time. You're not going to remember everyone's names. It's nothing to feel bad about. But, you know, even just ask them their name again. They're not going to be offended, or just don't mention it. Just say, hi, how are you? But stopping and actually having a conversation. I've started doing that recently, especially during COVID. I've bumped into so many customers, and it's so nice actually talking outside of that barbershop environment and catching up on like a more personal level.
Yeah.
Kind
of leading on from that, I know I've talked to some people about boundaries between clients and barbers, and there's the whole issue of you know, barbers needing to switch off, not absorb so much of their clients struggles or whatever they're going through in the day. What's your kind of stance on separating boundaries?
It's a really tough question, isn't it? Because in some aspects, yes, and in some aspects, no. So I think not all the time. You know, it's nice to be friendly with your customers. Like for instance, when I was cutting one of my clients' hair, and he asked me to go to his birthday party that night, and I thought, why not? I'm not doing anything. So along I went, and now we're great friends. Like he's coming to my wedding. It's amazing. Like we're really, really good friends now. But I think there's also the side of things where it's like, and I really regret this, is giving out your personal number and constantly having people, you know, message you whatever time of the day asking for haircuts. And again, I don't mind it, and I will reply to them, but at the same time, you know, if you're having your dinner or you're catching up with family and you're constantly having to reply to people, I think that's where there's a boundary that should maybe be not crossed, keeping things a little bit separate on that side of things, or even getting a business phone and getting a separate mobile phone and giving your clients that number. Not all of your clients, but the ones that you feel like need to contact you a little bit more short notice or something. But yeah, I think it really does just depend on the person. Everyone's different, and you're not going to get on with everyone, are you? So I think just being as open and accepting as possible, and making yourself available when it's needed, but definitely sticking to some sort of boundaries with people. Yeah.
That makes total sense. And you must have got loads of messages during lockdown from people being like, well, maybe you haven't actually, which is a great thing, but I know for a lot of barbers I've got lots of messages being like, can you cut my hair? And they're just like, no, it's illegal.
I have had my fair share of them, unfortunately, but yeah, no, I have had quite a few messages.
And it makes it so difficult because obviously all you want to do is to cut your client's hair.
Oh, I'd absolutely love to, but unfortunately
absolutely
not possible at the moment.
And what have you learned from other industries when it comes to client experiences? Are there any brands that you love dealing with, any places that you go or used to go that really deliver that kind of first class service?
Yeah, I think this is again where copying comes into play a little bit more as well. I think learning from other businesses is such a great way to adapt your business to make it more the place that you want it to be. If there is other places that you enjoy going to and spending time in, then take some of that and put it into your shop. I remember I visited like a beauty salon a while ago, and I walked in and the first thing they were like, would you like a drink? It's like, I'd love a drink. This is great. And that's why we have the bar at Substance, because I thought that was so nice to be able to sit and enjoy the 10 minutes that I had. I mean, it's so rare that you get 10 minutes to sit down to yourself. So getting that little drink and chilling out for a little bit was
and when it's kind of like dead time, so to speak, isn't it, when you're waiting?
Oh, absolutely. And think of how awkward you are sitting in a waiting area as you like get your phone out automatically, don't you? And you start like scrolling down Facebook with no purpose whatsoever because you feel so awkward sitting there. So actually having a drink, I didn't feel the need to, sit on my phone and be wrapped up in that. I just enjoyed the 10 minutes that I had and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So yeah, definitely things like that. And there's another thing, this is no aspect of barbering whatsoever, but for instance, I ordered dinner from a takeaway. Was it last week or the week before? And it was like a little street food place. And they hand delivered it in a reusable bag. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like it was such a nice bag as well. But I know this sounds so silly, but you're so used to getting things in a plastic bag, a plastic container. So that place immediately stood out as being somewhere I want to go back to. Like I want to order from them again. Obviously, I'm cutting people's hair. I can't give them a bag, but things like that. It's all these like little things that people love and will come back to you for. So I think just putting in that extra mile and adding in them little touches and just making people want to come back to you is so cool. I know that seems like such a silly story with the bag, but I just thought that was amazing and I'll definitely be going back there. So yeah.
I'd be thrilled if my takeaway came in anything other than some polystyrene like that gets all sticky and you can't break down and you can't recycle. And
absolutely, yeah, it was all fully recyclable in this reusable bag, and I just thought like that is like that little touch that now I'm going to go back there all the time. So taking things like that and putting it into the barbershop is gonna make people want to come back.
And we've actually got some comments and a question, which is great to see. So Colin has said fantastic advice and customer care 100%. And he's also asked, with the bar idea, are the drinks included in the price of your haircuts at Substance Barbershop, or is that an extra?
Yes, so they're all included in the price. So obviously, like with alcohol, you would need a license if you were going to charge for it. So we have to incorporate that into the price. So our haircuts are a little bit more expensive than the shops around us, but with that, you're given so much more. It's not just come in and get a haircut and go. You're getting a lot more out of that. So the price reflects what you're getting in a whole. But if you don't have a drink, your haircut's still the same price. So yeah, just all the like coffee, beverages, alcohol, anything you have is all included.
It's amazing. I know if I'm a client anywhere, I would always be like, oh no, I won't take the drink because I don't know if it's free or not. You have to explain to them. You'd be like, take it.
Absolutely. That was a huge thing when we first opened. We did notice that quite a bit, where people were like, "Oh, how much is that?" Or "Is that extra?" Or when they'd come to they would take the drink, but then when they come to pay, they'd be like, "Oh, I had a coffee as well." And I'd be like, "No, no, no, it's included." So what we actually ended up doing was around the shop, we've got little bar menus, like you would in like a bar. That's got it basically answers all the questions that you would have as soon as you sit down in that chair. So it gives you our Wi-Fi code is on there, and all of the drinks, and it says they're like free of charge, just so it like stops that confusion with people, because you want to answer questions as soon as people are going to have, well, you want to answer them before they have the question. So I think things like that, and things like when you come in, if you're running late, like letting them know as soon as you're in, like all these little questions add up. So having them answered before they even have a chance to think them is amazing.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And you just want to kind of negate any of those awkward feelings that clients might have.
Mm-hmm.
Written down is just brilliant.
Yeah.
So I know that you entered the Modern Barber Awards last year and you won. Yay!
It was amazing.
So can you share the process of entering and any top tips for people thinking about entering? Hey, it's your dog!
I panicked there. I was like, I hope you didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry, I mentioned it. I just can't help myself.
He's barking at the postman.
You got the double whammy, dog and postman.
We did.
So yeah, about the Modern Barber Awards, what was the process like? Even if you hadn't won, do you think you'd have learned things from the experience of doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually really enjoyed the experience of entering, because it made me look at the shop in such a different view. Because I was writing all the things that I do down, and I was like, oh, that's actually really nice. Like, that looks great. But I think like starting off and writing down your first draft as soon as you can, if you are entering, getting that first draft down is really, really important, because you're going to want to adapt and change that first draft as you go. Making like a bullet point list of everything you want to cover for each question. I think like for myself, it's really easy to know in your head what you want to say, but then actually getting it out is really, really difficult. So it's really good to have, that small bullet point list of everything you want to answer, and reading it over and over and over, and just improving it each time as you go along. I think some people probably wrote theirs really quickly, but I actually wrote mine over a few weeks. So we really did actually spend a good amount of time on it. I probably put a good maybe 5 hours into it for a long period of time, just because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted to show like all of the things that we do. And I'm not a very good writer. I'm not a strong writer. So I actually got my fiance to help me, because he's great at writing things. So I would tell him and he would write them. So if you're not good at writing, I would strongly encourage getting someone to help you and just help you expand on all of the points that you want to make, instead of just being like, when the client comes in, we say hello.
Yeah,
like,
I think
expand on that.
It also, if people have got that kind of sense of writer's block, or the block happens when they start putting pen to paper, is either record yourself speaking if you're naturally better at getting your words across that way, or talk to someone, like you said, your partner, who could help you.
Absolutely, yeah. You do get so caught up in your head, don't you? Like I'm absolutely awful for it. There's probably so many things I wanted to say on this Zoom call that I've forgotten because I've not got it in front of me. But yeah, I think doing that and having somebody to speak to and help you through it is really, really important. Don't just sit and type away. Like, really put your thoughts onto paper first and break it down, and spend time on it.
Everyone's different, aren't they? I know some people they'd spend weeks and weeks, or others will just be able to do it in like half an hour, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do it quickly. It could definitely be done in maybe an hour or so, but I just really wanted to put the time and the effort into showing what Substance is all about and what we do, and how our client experience is so important. Because at the end of the day, your client experience is based all around your client, and it's so easy to forget that and not actually ask your clients. So I don't know. That's a point I actually did want to make that I've just remembered, is speak to your customers. Like ask them what they want. It's so easy to not do that. Like I didn't do that for so long, and I started asking my customers, what do you want from from your haircut? And then we introduced so many amazing things that I would have never thought of. Yeah, I mean, I was like, what's the biggest thing that annoyed people? And it turned out it was hairs on their faces. Having to go back to work and having little hairs. I mean, we can blow dry them off, but they're not coming off. So we actually ended up getting a hot towel machine.
Nice.
Yeah, and giving all of our clients a hot towel. Obviously, again, before COVID, we're not allowed to do it at the moment, but giving them a hot towel at the end of the service. And people were like, this is amazing. But I would have never known that if I hadn't have just, actually spoken to my customers and asked what they wanted from their experience.
Would you always do that face to face rather than a survey or anything like that?
I prefer face to face. Yeah. I think people probably get a bit nervous about face to face, but I would just rather people were open and honest and told me what they'd like, because you never know what they're thinking. So they could have the best idea in the world, but you just don't know it yet. So just changing like your, what's worked for you for 5 years might not be working now, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just adapt and change and ask what people want.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to draw a boundary somewhere. Someone might ask for a jacuzzi, I would just be
well, yeah, there's that. That would be great though.
Don't give the clients everything.
Just give them the doable things.
Well, I think a jacuzzi is a great place to end this talk on.
With jacuzzis.
It has been such a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much for your time and sharing.
That's okay.
That's made you best client experience barbershop of the year. It's been an absolute treat, and we will pop in the comments any links to enter the awards this year. If anyone's watching it has been like, ooh, I think I'll give that a go.
I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth it.
We haven't paid Deneka to say that, I promise.
Yeah, no, they actually haven't. But no, I was very shocked when we won. It was a great day.
Not at all. You definitely shouldn't have been with there's such a strong entry like that, and all the things that you do for your clients. They are very lucky.
Thank you.
And now I want a gin and tonic.
You deserve one.
Thank you. You too. It's been great. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.